Hour of 7. Good morning, Malabites and Malabresses, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, mummies and daddies. You're tuned into Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment. 360, we love to call it Edu Infotainment. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning right here in the paradise city of Calabar. How are you feeling this morning? It's a new day, it's a new opportunity at life. I always say this, but I will never get tired of saying this, right? Yesterday's gone, the failures of yesterday all gone, the mishaps of yesterday all gone, the setbacks of yesterday all gone. Today's a new day, so you should face the day, as a new opportunity. You should face the day as a new slate. You should not let the setbacks of yesterday, the misfortunes of yesterday to creep into today. Ensure that you face the day with positivity. Ensure that you face the day with a lot of optimism. My name is Vine Henshaw, like you already know. You can call me the spice of the airwaves, and I'm your morning companion right here. I'm the morning boss right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you education, information, and of course entertainment. 360, we love to call it Edu Infotainment. How are you feeling this morning? I hope you're feeling good. How did you sleep? I hope you had a very restful, very interesting night, because it was cold last night. The night was really cold, so I'm pretty sure that you listening to me right now, you had a very splendid night rest. If you do not have a good night's rest, now you know it's in you they think cold, because that cold weather was enough to knock anybody out. So I hope that you had a very restful night. I hope that your day is off to a fantastic start. Well, if it is not up to a fantastic start, we've got you right here on the morning boss. We're here to keep you informed, educated, and of course entertained all the way. I'm also here with Obi Thompson, and together we're going to ensure that we give you the best morning today. Good morning, Thompson, and welcome on the show. How are you feeling?
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Avine. I'm feeling good. Thank God it's Wednesday already. Man, it's just half of the week, and then it's just after now we talk about
Your week is on Monday to Sunday.
But well, sometimes it's always like that. I'm good. I'm fine. I trust you're also doing exceptionally great this morning, and so yeah, you're looking good. Let me just say that. Yeah, I heard somebody said you went to Abuja yesterday. Tell me,
yes,
is that true?
Shut
that fly. Oh my goodness! Somebody say, "Hey, there's no money. There's no money." Oh my goodness!
Let me tell you guys.
First of all, is Ella aware of this? Is Sharon aware of this?
Well, Sharon is not, right, because it was an impromptu trip. And
Oh
like I
my
said,
goodness.
I just
Oh my goodness.
breezed into Abuja and just came back just for the show. Don't let poverty
Oh
make
my
you think
goodness.
that some things are not possible. It is
Yeah,
very, very possible.
You even started the show with a lot of prophecies and promises that, oh my
Exactly.
goodness, yesterday worries were
Exactly.
over. Guy, today people are still hungry.
Well, even
A lot of
though,
persons are
regardless
still
of
very
what,
hungry.
still, God will make a way. That's what I know. That is what I know.
Amen.
Anyway, how are you doing this morning? How are you, feeling this morning? Where are you listening to us from as well? We would love to hear from you this morning. What are you up to? Are you on your way to work? Are you on your way to school? Are you on your way to run different errands or go to your business places? Let us know this morning. 0809 4444058. I'll take that again. 0809 4444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. We are curious to know what you were up to this morning and how is transportation in your area. So this morning I was coming to the office and
Don't even talk about that.
I've come to realize
Seriously.
something. It's very simple. I'm going to dish out a very simple hack this morning. And that hack is, if you're stepping out and you know that usually, let's say you pay 200 naira to your destination. My brother, my sister carry
Please.
200 naira.
Please.
Ensure that you carry 200 naira, because you see these cab
Extra.
drivers, it remains small for them to carry gun enter road. Because what do you mean? Once they see that you have more than 200, maybe you're giving them 500
500 naira.
They will,
In fact,
they will give you half
automatically they
change.
start telling
Like,
you, I just bought for
it's
1,500,
crazy.
as if you are the one who
It's
sent them to buy the fuel.
crazy.
If you don't want to ply the road, please stay in your home.
It's that
stay in your
simple.
home. Yeah, that's just as simple as
When
that.
you give them change, they will
Yeah.
behave themselves. But when you don't give them change, they will now try to exploit you. So as you were stepping out this morning, ensure that you step out with change. Go out with change. This is me telling you. You know I always bring updates. So go out with change, because these guys, they are steadily trying to exploit people. Because at the end of the day, this hardship that we're all crying, it's not just one person that is suffering it. It's not just the cab drivers that are suffering it. It's not just the market sellers that are suffering it. Every single person is suffering this hardship. So why would you try to exploit another person? It really makes no sense. But just like they say, since the bed had started to fly without patching. The hunter shoots without missing.
Yeah.
So yes, carry your change.
Same vein, in fact, yesterday I have to tell one particular driver that look, the way you people are behaving as if it is we. It is we who have deliberately, become the problem or suddenly become the problem. But when it is time, it is you who will still volunteer your keke, who will still volunteer your taxi, for campaigns and all of that to vote the same persons who are putting us in the same calamity at all times, And then he couldn't know what to say. I said, well, I speak as though I know what I'm saying, okay? And then I have to pay him his money. I say, because the particular woman was begging him actually, from, Goldie Market yesterday while I was going, saying, hey, this is where I'm stopping from Goldie to, I think before Amika or to something thereabout. So the woman was saying, oh, I'll pay you 150. The man was busy looking for passengers. Even when the woman is an old woman, consistently said that, when the woman alighted. And so the man said, I pay my money. And so the woman doled out 200 and said, give me my change. The man said, no, he doesn't have change. How can he carry her from, Goldie Market to, that place for 150? And the woman was like, but I was telling you, and I told the man that, well, the woman was telling you, I heard it very well. And so he couldn't know what to say. So he has to, pull off change and give.
But what's always this thing about them trying to play smart?
Because I really don't understand.
I'm pretty sure that don't understand. Heard when she said if she didn't.
No,
have
he's
a witness
pretending.
Like you,
he's pretending. Yeah, the man would have been so. In fact, not minding the age of this particular woman, he would have dished out. Insult from the coffin or probably from the cemetery and all of that. So it's as tough as that. So I think it basically. I have going forward. I say that, well, anywhere I'm going to, I am going to stand on the ground and price you properly. Yes. We are going to agree properly before I actually hit that board with you, because it's so embarrassing that you get to where you're going because of 15 naira or 100 naira. You begin to fight or dish out insult and all of that. So the best is, before you enter, please talk price. Or God, this is how much I'm going to pay you. It's just like some persons who go to the street, to make friends late at night, and then you refuse to say, "Oh, this is how much I'm going to pay you," and then in the morning you expect the person to. Okay, thank you.
No.
All right, so time check is 7:42, right?
This is much can take on this segment of the show. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're going to move to the weather focus segment right here on the Morning Buzz on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course entertainment 360. I'll leave in the hands of Burna Boy and Ed Sheeran. This one says, "For My Hand." This song is off the Burna Boy's Love Damini album. Don't move away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. Welcome back from that short music break. That was Feeling by Ladipo featuring Benson. It's still the morning buzz right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it Edu Infotainment. My name remains Igwe Vine Henshaw. We also have Obi Thompson for president right here on the show. Moving on, we're going to the next segment of the show, which is the weather forecast segment right here on the show. Now, today is the 25th day in the month of March 2026. Slowly and steadily, we are coming to the end of the month of March.
Exactly.
I love how the days
Less
are,
than,
are
5
moving
days
very
or so.
fast.
Yeah.
Moving very fast. Anyway, today in Calabar will be warm, cloudy, and humid with a moderate chance of afternoon and evening showers. Expect high humidity throughout the day. Now, in the morning from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., temperature range between 25 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. Rain chance is around 20 to 30%. Mostly cloudy, slight drizzles possible. Now, the condition is going to be warm, humid, and mostly cloudy. Now, the tip is light clothing is fine. No strong rain risk early in the day. Now, in the afternoon from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., temperatures will range between 30 to 32 degrees Celsius. The rain chance is going to be around 40 to 55%. Spotty showers or a brief thunderstorm possible. Now, the condition is going to be hot, humid, cloudy with breaks of sun. Now, the practical tip is keep an umbrella handy. Afternoon heat plus humidity may trigger quick showers. Now, in the evening from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., temperatures will range from 26 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. The rain chance is going to be around 50 to 60%. Now, the condition is going to be cloudy with possible light rain or a short thunderstorm. Now, the tip is if you're going out, expect damp conditions and carry something waterproof. Now, the summary, the temperature throughout the day is going to range between 25 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. Now, the rain chance is going to be moderate, especially in the afternoon and in the evening. Now, general advisory, expect humid and cloudy weather with possible showers later in the day. Stay hydrated, dress light, and keep an umbrella close just in case. And that is the weather forecast for you this morning. Ensure that you plan your day accordingly. Ensure that you stay hydrated. Ensure that you carry an umbrella, carry something waterproof, carry, an umbrella, a raincoat, something that will keep you protected from the rain because, these days the rain is just showing up on us unannounced.
Yeah.
So ensure that you step out prepared. Ensure that you plan for the weather. Now, that is how much you can take on the weather focus segments, but we have a birthday shout out to do. Today is the birthday of one of our colleagues. Her name is Eunice. She is an admin staff right here at Unico 103.5 FM. So we're going to call her and wish her a happy birthday this morning. Okay, her number is not going through right now, but we'll try later to call her to wish her a happy birthday. But just in case we don't get to reach her this morning, happy birthday,
happy
Eunice.
birthday to you, Eunice.
We're wishing you long life and prosperity.
No wonder yesterday she was looking so yummy. Oh,
that is the reason.
Ladies with birthdays, they get to start preparing before that.
So, Thompson, you're not a birthday person.
I don't know. Like, I literally don't. Sometimes I forget that. Oh, it's my birthday.
I don't believe that. That's a very big lie.
There's no. It happens.
I said I don't believe it.
Well, I have also.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, sometimes.
The only time I know that it's possible
birthday.
is maybe you've gotten to 70, 80 and you're beginning to lose your memory.
Oh, come on. A lot of persons. In fact, let me just start it this way. Sometimes a lot of persons, most of us, never had the opportunity right from when we were little for us to, be celebrated on our birthdays. Do you understand? So we get used to it, as time grows on. So sometimes when I see people shouting, "Oh, happy birthday," or they are going for birthday party, it seems a little bit wired to me, like, ew, like birthday and all of that. So, well, that's the reason why sometimes I forgot that, oh, it's my birthday. It's Facebook that usually remind me, or let me say social media that usually remind me, or my bank could just send me a message. I say, it's my birthday. But outside of that, literally, I usually forget that, oh, yeah, happy birthday and all of that.
Well, for those of you that remember your birthdays, big shout out to you. Big shout out to you, Eunice. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday to
We're
you.
wishing you long life and prosperity. We're wishing you the very
Yeah.
best. Ensure that you sparkle, all through this new year. Ensure that, you work towards being the better and the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Happy
Birthday to
birthday,
you.
Eunice.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going back to the music now, and I'll leave in the hands of Thames. This one says Ice-T. This song is from the For Broken Ears EP. The number boy from a radio set will be back before you know it. Short music break. That was Ice-T by Thames. The song is off her 2020 For Broken Ears EP. I lived through that EP. It was something that was always on replay every time on my playlist. It was an
Okay.
amazing EP. It was indeed for broken ears.
Mm.
Anyway, still the morning buzz right here on Unicorn 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it ADU infotainment. And right now we're moving to the next segment of the show, which is the the national holiday segment right here on the show. And the first national holiday we have is International Waffles Day. International Waffles Day. So today is that day where you can have unlimited waffles on your account. Nobody's going to pay for you. So if you don't know what waffles is, so think of an ice cream cone. Have you ever seen an ice cream cone? Now that biscuits that they used to make an ice cream cone,
Okay.
that is waffles. Yes. So yes,
That's interesting.
yeah. Some people just have it like biscuits. Some people have it like bread. It depends on how you want to have your waffles. So today's Waffles Day. So ensure that you indulge in waffles. Now the next holiday we have is International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade.
Wow.
Now, International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade, under the initiative of the United Nations, is observed on March 25th every year. The day honors the victims of the transatlantic slave trade that spanned over 4 centuries and impacted an estimate of nearly 15 million African men, women, and children. The day was first observed in 2008 with Breaking the Silence, Lest We Forget as the main theme. Every year, exhibits, film screenings, and discussion panels are planned at the United Nations headquarters, and institutions from all around the world are requested to pay respect to the victims of this unthinkable horror. Now, this year's theme is Acknowledge the Past, Repair the Present, Build a Future of Dignity and Justice. I'll take that again. This year's theme for International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade is Acknowledge the Past, Repair the Present, Build a Future of Dignity and Justice. What do we make out of this? Because this is was a very sad time. This slavery and the slave trade horror happened for over 4 centuries and impacted 15 million African men, children, and women. It was very sad in reality. It was indeed a horror, and it's good that we have been emancipated from slavery, and it's something that doesn't exist anymore. And I love this theme that the United Nations came up with this year. It says acknowledge the past, repair the present, and build a future of dignity and justice. Now it's very important to acknowledge the past, because like it or not, even if whatever happened in the past is horrible, it's good to acknowledge the past, because without the past we'll not be where we are today in the present, and we're not going to look forward to building the future. So this is a very, very thoughtful and very, very intentional theme by the United Nations.
Yeah, so just like you talked about, that's the reason why for most of us who are in Cross River State, we'll become so worried about what happened to Marina Resort, where we have the Trade Museum, and all of that, And so the last time we went there, I felt a bit uncomfortable because of we should have expected, more renovation, just like you talked about the theme for this year, which we have to acknowledge the past. A lot of persons have forgotten about that. That is why most of us are so concerned about, the history, studying of history in our public schools and all of that. So people really need to know what has happened in the past. Why do we have this kind of economic situation? Why is Nigeria still under the acronym of a developing country? Despite all the millions we're making and all of that, we need to acknowledge that past, and of course set the goals to repair today, just so that tomorrow could be a better place. So, and today in repairing our place, so a lot of times we see most of our politicians still doing those things. We keep wondering, why are these things still happening? Why are we still slaves in our own dear country? You can imagine places like some parts of the northern part of the country. You could see situations where people are still paying dues, as if you're in a department, okay, paying dues and then getting receipts, just for for you to, stay in your own land, despite all the challenges we faced in the past. So it's as sad as that. So I just hope that collectively, looking at the team for this year, collectively, people could get it right. We can always get it right, because if we talk about this particular story that has to do with, slave trades, trust me, even till today, just like we started this conversation by talking about, the issues of transportations and all of that, it still makes us look slaves, because this is the only country where we have refinery, but it's not helping. We have all the mineral resources, but it doesn't have any effect in our lives as Nigerians. So it's as safe, is as true as saying that we are still slaves in our own country, despite the fact that we have these resources, because these were the only resources that was making the British or the whites, the Westerners, enslaving us, because they seized that opportunity to, do what they have done, and all of that. So I think our parents have tried so much so hard that they are able to, despite all of the challenges, we're still able to overcome. So I'm also sometimes wondering, so if not for the fact that still the whites wake up and say, no, enough is enough. So up to today, we have still been, that bold slaves and all of that. Just like some days ago, people said the president traveled to UK, traveled to this to go for the first time in 38 years. Okay, and this is just happening. And so people call this another level of slavery, because you just sit back, and watch the white dictate for us what we should do in our own country, even up till today. So it becomes a very tough one here. And it's sad that sometimes when I remember these things, I think about the day I went to Marina, and then when I went through the slave museum, trust me, I usually pour down tears, because our parents went through hell for us to be where we are today.
Amazing. Anyway, that's much you can take on the national holiday segments right here on the show. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're going to move to the health and wellness segment right here on the show. I'll leave in the hands of Essence by Wizkid, Justin Bieber, and Thames. The number of away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it.
me tonight. Let it go, let me be the one. Should I know that you want me now? Said I need my love, but I don't know how. To get to you, can you show me tonight? Show me tonight. Can you show me tonight? Should I know that you want me now? Send me my love, but I don't know.
That short music break, that song is off the Made in Lagos deluxe album of 2021. It's still the Morning Boss right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course entertainment. 360 we love to call it ADU infotainment. Right now we're going to the next segment of the show, which is the health and wellness segment. You already know that we love to keep you healthy, we love to keep you strong, because it's very important that we give you tips on how to stay healthy and strong, because if you're not healthy, how then are you going to listen to us right here on the show? Now today we're talking about the importance of a perfectly balanced diet. A perfectly balanced diet is like flipping the on switch for your entire body after a long night fast. When it's done right, everything runs smoother, sharper, and stronger. Now, these are the importance of a perfectly balanced breakfast. Fosters energy levels. Now, after hours of sleep, your body's glucose stores are low. A balanced breakfast replenishes energy, helping you avoid early fatigue. Another one is improve brain function. Your brain thrives on glucose. Eating in the morning boosts concentration, memory, and alertness, making you more productive. Now, the next one is support metabolism. Breakfast kickstarts metabolic processes, helping your body burn calories more effectively throughout the day. Now, the fourth one is prevent overeating later. Skipping breakfast often leads to intense hunger, which can result in overeating or unhealthy snacking later. Now, another one is provides essential nutrients. A balanced meal supplies protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals needed for proper body functions. Now, another one is stabilize blood sugar level. Now, combining protein, fiber, and healthy carbs prevents sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar. Now, let me quickly pause and just say this. So, it's very important to have breakfast. So, a few days ago,
Very
I think
important,
here in the office, something
Yeah.
happened that if not for God, it would have been another story
Another story
entirely.
entirely.
So my blood sugar level crashed completely, and it was more like I was going to faint the next moment. So I had to look for soda to just spike the blood sugar level almost immediately. It crashed. I could feel it crashing even worse. So I just thank God that I was able to do something. That happened because I did not have breakfast before
Okay.
leaving the house. So it's very important. This is a personal story, personal experience. It's very important to always have breakfast. Another one is enhances physical performance. Whether it's walking, working, or exercise, breakfast fuels your muscles for better performance. Another one is support weight management. A regular, balanced breakfast help regulate appetite and reduce the likelihood of weight gain. Another one is improves mood. Low energy often equals irritability. Eating well in the morning helps maintain a stable, positive mood. An angry man a hungry man is an
It's an
angry
angry
man.
man.
So yes,
Automatically. Yeah, that's what happens. So that's
exactly.
why we'll always advise, no matter what it is, do all you can to take something at
No matter
most.
how
No
small.
matter how small it is, just take something before you leave the house. Very, very important.
Another one here says promotes overall health. Constant healthy breakfast habits are linked to reduce risk of chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes.
Yeah.
Now, what makes it perfectly balanced? Think of a plate as a small team working together. Carbohydrates, example, oats, bread, fruit. Quick energy, that gives you quick energy. Now, protein, example, eggs, beans, milk. It helps support your muscles.
Okay.
Now, healthy fats like nuts and avocado gives you long-lasting energy. Now,
Wow.
fiber, example, fruit, vegetables, and whole grains helps in digestion. Now, simple example of a balanced breakfast is oatmeal, milk, groundnuts, banana, and bread. That's an example of a perfectly balanced breakfast: oatmeal, milk, groundnut, banana, bread. You can even add egg to it, to give you an extra protein, and you have yourself a balanced diet. Now, a perfectly balanced breakfast is not just a meal, but a daily investment in energy, focus, and long-term health. Starting your day with the right nutrients sets the tone for better choices, improved performance, and overall well-being. Now, that is what we have for you
I
in the
think
health and
even
wellness
before you
segment.
close up there, a lot of persons feel like God should balance our diet if we do not have money to balance our diet.
But that one day shall, because these days the way things are hard, it's very hard to actually have balanced diets.
Yeah,
but ensure that you try to have balanced diet
so that
It
God
doesn't
will
ha-
not stress himself to balance the
Exactly.
diet.
It doesn't have to be something so expensive. You can
Yeah.
have balanced diets by all the things that you can find around in your garden.
Exactly.
Around you. It doesn't have to be overly expensive. That's what
Yeah.
people fail to understand. It doesn't have to be expensive. Anyway, that's much you can take on the health and wellness segment right here on the show. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're going to move to the top story segment right here on the show. I'll leave in the hands of Oliver Dean. This one says, "Man, I Need." Do not move away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. 17 minutes past our 8, and you're still tuned into Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it Edu Infotainment. My name remains Vine Henshaw, like you already know, but you can call me the Spice of the Airwaves. And right now, we are moving to the next segment of the show right here on the Morning Buzz, and it is the Top Story segment. Like you already know, we love to start with campus news. Now, UNICO constitutes NERD committee. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Calabar, Professor Offiong Efang Offiong, has approved the constitution of the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank Committee for the institution NERD. This follows a directive from the NERD body in line with Section 10, subsection 1 of the Education National Minimum Standard and Establishment of Institutes Act of 1985, aimed at strengthening academic integrity, standardizing education records, and eliminating credential fraud through effective quality assurance system. In separate letters signed by the registrar, Dr. Mrs. Chukwuka Aicha, key officials have been appointed to drive and coordinate NERD activities within the university. Accordingly, Dr. Mrs. Violet Bassi Eneo has been appointed to represent the Vice Chancellor as the NERD focal officer and will oversee the onboarding of institutional academic records, including master mark sheets and graduation lists. Other members of the NERD team include Professor Aniebie Ntui, who will serve as the member of the committee supporting coordination efforts, Mr. Onen Ubi Eno, appointed to represent the registrar as NERD record officer with the responsibility of uploading academic records, transcripts, and examination results, and Mr. Victory Edet, appointed to represent the director of ICT, serving as the NERD digitalization officer, coordinating the digitalization of theses, dissertations, and other research materials. The Vice Chancellor expects the appointees to bring their wealth of experience to bear in ensuring the successful implementation of the NERD program, which is designed to enhance transparency, preserve academic records, and strengthen the credibility of the university's certification system. Public Relations Unit, University of Calabar, Calabar. What do we make out of this?
Yeah, as soon as I went through that particular story, I was really happy. I was really grateful because students will not have issues with uploading of results, or talking about NYC mobilization and all of that. So they wouldn't have issues with all of that. Remember the last meeting they had, the management and students, in terms of pre-mobilization exercise. A lot of things was assured. They promised the students that things were going to get better. And as such, I think going forward, especially the new students that will be admitted, so a lot of things will definitely going to change. And so we're seeing how the management is doing everything within its reach to make sure that students find it seamlessly, in working or getting whatever they want to get. It has to do with certificate, it has to do with mobilization, it has to do with getting your transcript and all of that. So things are really getting better, the way it should be. Don't forget, we've said that all we need in our systems are people with wealth of knowledge, skills and abilities to deliver, So we just hope that this team of persons who have been put together will actually come out with good results. Most importantly is I find it so challenging in this 21st century to walk into an office and then I'll be asked to bring social document to confirm, social document to come. So why not I just bring my registration number and straight key in into the system, my informations, my data comes out. I come with my original to actually certify that, these are mine. Okay, so long as I came with the original, so these are mine. There's no need to go and start photocopying this, photocopy that, bring this, bring that, and all of that. You understand? So I think with these, but trust me, we're going to get it right, and the systems is going to really be of help both to the students and the staff itself, because there are so many times we didn't have, a staff going through the archives to go and start digging your files, let's say after 10, 20 years, your files have been separated in a very far, or put in a very far distance and all of that. So, and then, I want to get my transcript. You need to start digging and digging and digging and all of that. So why not just come, what's your, registration, or what's your matric number, or what's your JAM number? They enter into the system and your information comes out, and immediately they print out your transcript for you, or send it to wherever they want to send, and not all these bogus, this is 21st century, and as such is computer age.
Yes.
So we shouldn't be doing things as if we're still in the 50s
Stone
or
Age.
30s or even before the coming of Christ and BC and all of that. So I think it's quite important to see that this team that have been put together, when I saw their names and their portfolios, I knew that something good, something magnificent, definitely it's going to come out of this team.
Amazing, amazing. Moving forward, we have a message from Thompson's favorite people on campus, and that is Sebicom. It says, right knowledge, key to quality
Oh my
service
goodness,
delivery.
I love that part.
Says Professor Oben.
Okay.
So the director of Sebicom, Service Compact, at the University of Calabar, Professor Basi Oben, has emphasized that access to the right knowledge at the right time is fundamental to achieving quality service delivery and ensuring a brighter future for the institution. Professor Oben made this known during a sensitization visit to the Department of Microbiology held at Laboratory 266, Faculty of Biological Sciences, University of Calabar. He said that the visit was part of the efforts to acquaint staff with the vision and expectations of the 12th Vice Chancellor, Professor Ofiong Afang Ofiong, particularly in relation to commitment to duty and institutional responsibility. Highlighting the Vice Chancellor's strategic priorities, Professor Oben stressed the need to balance academic excellence with a positive student's experience. In his words, "We can't have academic excellence without a pleasurable student experience." Professor Oben urged staff to avoid lateness, indiscipline, and other unethical practices, reminding them that their primary responsibility is to contribute meaningfully to the growth and effectiveness of the system. The Sevicom director also charged academic staff to uphold high teaching standards and refrain rather from compromising on quality under any circumstance. He stated the importance of safeguarding the integrity and reputation of the university, noting that the institution remains the collective responsibility and primary constituency of all staff. Professor Oben added that the directorate would continue its sensitization campaign over the next 9 months to ensure that staff remain well informed and aligned with the expectations of the new administration. In her response, the head of the Department of Microbiology, Dr. Mrs. Chinyere Yu Okoro, expressed appreciation for the visit, noting that it had further enlightened staff on the goals and visions of the current Vice Chancellor. Dr. Okoro commended members of her department for their dedication, describing them as hardworking, punctual, and committed to achieving optimal productivity. The event was attended by the Dean of the Faculty of Biological Sciences, Professor Chris Ndome, the Sub-Dean, Dr. Basi Ini Ubi, as well as professors, senior lecturers, and other staff of the Department, Public Relations Unit, University of Calabar. What do we make out of this?
Yeah, so just like you said, my wonderful team. I am
Yes, your best
so
friends.
yeah, I am so happy with that. This exactly what we want. That's what we want to see. We want to see them going through all of these faculties. All of these departments. Encouraging them to teach our students. Go to lectures. And deliver the needful to our students. Because if you look at currently, I don't know if this is really true. Because the outcome of GSX exam so far, so good, has not been something good enough, from some quarters that I've been able to, hear. And then I keep asking the question, what really happened? What actually changed? And I begin to hear in some quarters that, we've not really had lectures, we've not never even seen this particular lecturer and all of that. And so it becomes a very huge concern to me. So I think, despite the fact that, yes, the curriculums will be there, students will have to see their materials and all of that, but we need more explanation. Students need more, especially these new students. Forget about the fact that you see some of them grown, some of them looking matured and all of that. No, in as much as this environment is concerned, you are a new student, you're a new student. There's nothing, it doesn't have to do with your age, it doesn't have to do with your height, it doesn't need to do with your body structures and all of that. All we just get to know is these are new students that need to be equipped with how the system itself works.
Yes.
And so I think going around faculties and saying, hey, deans, mandate your staffs to do what? To actually get to work, and that is very important. So that during examination, you'll be so proud and so happy to walk into exams hall to see what is happening. And the students will not have to, start misbehaving in exams hall. When you see students going into exams hall at some point in time with chips and all of that, it's because probably the process at which has brought them to that level was poor, was broken and such. You won't expect them to do well. But when you see a student doing exceptionally well, just know that the lecturer, have put in every effort to ensure that the students assimilate what have been taught to them. So I think it's quite important for us to see this happening, not just in our lecturing, but also in many other facets of the school, departments and agencies as well. So with this, trust me, our students are going to graduate and go back to the society and be so impactful. Because I keep wondering, because sometimes you see a lot of persons in the society say, I am a graduate, and you just have to shake your head that this one has not been baked properly, and all of that. So we want to see graduates go to the society and be so impactful. We don't want to hear those stories that me that didn't go to school, I am far better than you that went to school. No. We don't want to see that in this 21st century. So it's a welcome development, and we anticipate more for this. And we just hope that subsequently, they will have to invite Unical Radio to cover most of their visit, because we want to say, have them make some recordings, and of course have students get it live. For accountability sake.
That's very good. Anyway, that's so much can take on that segment. We are going to another interesting top story. This is a very, very interesting one. So this is I'm pretty sure we're all experiencing this whole I will call it blackout. It's safe to call it blackout.
Total
right
blackout.
Here. So we have a love letter from the PHED, the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, to all of you listening. So I'm going to read it out right now. It says, "Dear esteemed customer, kindly be informed that the current shortage of power supply is due to the reduced allocation PHED is receiving from the national grid. This decline is as a result of low power generation caused by a reduction in the gas supply to thermal power plants, and has consequently impacted the distribution of power within our network. We know how difficult the situation has been, and we sincerely apologize for the inconveniences caused. We assure you of our commitment to effectively distribute the available power while we anticipate approved allocation from the national grid. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Signed, Management." Such a beautiful love letter.
It doesn't make any sense. It has nothing meaningful here. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why not tell Nigerians that, okay, there are people within these geographical areas that, okay, for this sake, we are going to cut down the price, because we're still getting bills. We're still getting bills, even more than what we're even paying before. So what's the essence of this letter? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like I've been saying that I don't know what our traditional leaders are doing. I don't want to talk about politicians, because that is where their ends meet are being served, So I am talking about our traditional leaders. I understand that today, or currently in Nigerian system, we have politicians dictating what our traditional institutions should really look like. Not allowing it to actually flourish the way it should actually be. If not, you're giving my community a poor power supply, and you're coming for disconnection. And the question is why? You see some streets like the streets just opposite my street. Let me talk about Mure particularly. These guys have donated money or put their money to go and buy transformer, and you're asking me or you're telling me to come and pay bills again. So it doesn't make any sense at all. I bought the transformer. There's a street in Mariam per se. Let's say Old Mariam Road. I had a man actually provided the transformer for the streets. And so you're coming to cut bills and all of that. So it's sad. It's pathetic. Also, so why not say, because this transformer is not coming from us, because this transformer is not coming from the government, so we are going to give you a reduced rate, right? So instead of paying 100 naira for a kilowatt, so why not pay 17 naira or 16 naira for a kilowatt and all of that? So here we are having them even spending more. So it's sad. Like for me, I don't think that story make any sense. There's no need for you to apologize. It is just saying that you are all incompetent. It is a simple thing. So the president, don't forget, before now, promised Nigerians a 24-hour power supply, knowing very well that he can do it. But here you are in the presidency. You rather pull away from the national grid and had your solar panels. So it's sad. If you go to places like Port Harcourt, trust me, a lot of persons are tired. They are tired with electricity supply. And what they do is they go along with their solar panels and all of that. So I think for most of us, that is what we'll be doing. And then we'll say bye-bye to them. Let them do whatever they want to do. It's just like the University of Calabar, for instance, we have a beautiful
a long time ago.
Do you understand? We have a beautiful solar power plant, supplying us good electricity, and it's so sufficient enough for us to do whatever we want to. It's carrying the entire appliances in the University of Calabar. So why should we be worried? And all that's the biggest problem. But before now, if you look at the bill this guy will submit to the university, each month, you begin to ask yourself, what did we use? What exactly did we use?
Right now is the fact that we don't have power supply. Now, let me take my area for instance. We had light this month of March. We had light just 3 times in March, and
that is it. And that's the same thing we're facing.
Those 3 times. I'm talking about having just 1 hour of light. So we've had 3 hours of light in the month of March, and they brought a bill, and we are paying the same amount that we'll pay on a normal day. And the question is why? You have not given us light to our satisfaction. As a matter of fact, we are suffering. This is not the matter of sorry for the inconveniences. We are literally suffering. Well, we are paying the same amount that we would pay for normal supply of electricity, and that is very, very wrong. I think a lot of you were saying something about the community leaders. I think they have a role to play in this, because there are some areas that I've heard of where, as much as I'm not promoting violence, right? But I've heard of areas where these people go to disconnect lights or go to
and you're being taught the lesson of your life. That is it.
I cannot even blame the
commuters and all of that,
because it's painful to actually experience something like this, and
that's exploitation. It's more like that's exploitation. I don't know the role of ICPC and EFCC, because this is a deliberate exploitation. So all of these monies you're making, where do you send them to? Except for, especially now, you see another trick they use is, these guys who are using how do they call it, meters, prepaid meters and all of that. Now, in fact, the sad experiences they are sharing is very devastating. I think it's just that Nigerians, we don't like going to the street because of fears of being pointed fingers on, okay, and all of that. And so when you do that, the government think it's still the same persons in your same street who still complain, but then they are suffering and smiling. That is the kind of lifestyle we are living in Nigeria. We are suffering but still smiling. You still see somebody waking up to the street and telling you must vote for this party because this party has done absolutely well, and you keep asking yourself the question, what have they done? What exactly have they done? My own pains and fears is that I wonder how tomorrow is going to look like. I'm just thinking how 2027 is going to look like, how 2028 is going to look like, because the entire situation is so very unbearable. Let me use that simple word, because if you see the way I think about Nigeria each and every day, I sometimes keep crying, like, how did we get here? And I just get solution to that. We got here because people think, yes, the president promised us 24-hour power supply, and then he was going to do it because they said he has done it in Lagos State. And so we are expecting that to be done in Nigeria. And so he said, if I do not do this, don't vote for me. So why are people still forcing this same guy inside our throat? Do you understand? So up till now, we cannot boast of a stable 3,000 power megawatts, okay, of electricity supply in Nigeria. So we can't even boast it. We nowhere. Not to talk about 5 or 10,000 that have, at some point in time blink in our eyes. So it's as sad as that. You go to most of our communities, there are no transformers. You could imagine an entire community like Gibson, Moray, and all of those, Atu, Runabout, Axis, all of that place, sharing just one transformer. It's sad. Yet we have the vice chairman of Calabar South staying in that street. We have more than 5 councillors. We have a lot of persons in that street, but yet nothing to show about. So it's sad as that. So I sometimes ask myself, do this same thing happen in other places? Why do we have councillors? Why do we have chairmen? Why do we have all of these political appointees? Look, I think this is why I am totally against free monies. When they sit and say, oh, the governor gave us 2 million naira, the governor gave us this, the government gave us this, and this. Look, I am so ashamed of most times when I hear people say this. Okay, so why not give us these transformers? Why not give us water? Why not just basic things? I don't want to talk about schools. If you go to most of our secondary school, primary school, is sorry for you. Most of these schools, they don't even know what is electricity. You go there, nothing. There is nothing, like even a pole is not even standing there. Most of the poles that have all of this iron on them have pulled it down and remove all the irons in those poles. If you look at their zinc, oh my goodness, look, it's sad. It's sad. It's totally sad. So this kind of letter from PhD or whatever they are called, it is so sad. It is an insult to us as Nigerians, because you've not told us the exact thing you want us to hear. Just tell us, okay, for this sake, the month of March, the month of February and March, don't worry, we're forgiving your bills, okay, or going forward, this is what we want. So if that is it, fine, we understand that language, but coming out to tell us all of these babblings and then at the end of the day, still nothing. We're still going to pay our bills, right? So there's nothing. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, let us know what you think about this memo from the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHED 0809-4444-058. I'll take that again, 0809-4444-058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. We are itching to hear from you this morning. Also, let us know what the light situation in your area is like this morning. Going back to the music now, and I'll leave in the hands of Crayon and Ira Star. This one says, Ngozi, the number of away from the radio set will be back before you know it. Crayon and Iris Star. That song is off the Trench to Triumph debut album of Crayon. It's still the Morning Buzz right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it Audio Infotainment. My name remains Igwe Vine, but you can also call me Spice off the airwaves. And I'm here with Obi Thompson, and together we're going to ensure that we keep you informed, educated, and of course, entertained right here on the show. Now we are moving to the conversation of the day segment, and today we are talking about something that we've spoken about this before, but I thought to bring it up again because it's something that people need to understand. Now, concerning the Ozoro Festival thing that happened last week, we spoke about that on Monday.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And I thought to bring back the conversation again because I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of remarks, and it has left me perplexed because I'm so confused as to why people would think like that. Now, it's no news that it's seeming like the cultural laws, cultural norms in societies and communities are acting as though they are stronger than the rule of law, and that shouldn't be so. In many societies like Nigeria, there exists a tension between formal legal systems, confined rules enforced by states, and the unwritten, deeply ingrained cultural norms that guide daily lives. Now, it's more like, everyday life is being guided not by the rule of law, but by cultural norms, by cultural rules, by cultural laws. And it shouldn't be like that. Now, I heard stories where, I saw comments rather where people were saying that what happened were the fault, or was the fault of the women, that they should have stayed indoors. They were warned not to come outside. But in Nigeria, there's something called freedom of movement, and that is a fundamental human right. And you're taking away the fundamental human rights of a human being because of the cultural practice of a particular tribe, a particular community, and that is not right. Any culture, any tradition that strips you of your fundamental human rights should not exist. Now that's yes, that's what I think. Any culture,
oh my goodness,
me any day,
Mr. Vine,
any culture that strips you of your fundamental human rights shouldn't be in existence.
Igwe Vine, let's talk about your let's say your kingdom right now. So and then you have one of your kingsmen who lost his life, and then he needs to be buried. And so the question is, do you have people in the streets? Do you have people walking around during Igwe's burial? It is not done anywhere. Okay, so it's not. And so, no, let's take it down slowly by slowly. We're not trying to justify... We're not justifying what has happened in Ozoro community. Okay, we are trying to say, look, give what belongs to Caesar. Whereas,
to other people.
We are getting there. We're getting there. We're going to talk about the Constitution of Nigeria, right? Now, we're asking again. Let's talk about the recent Carnival Festival, for instance, okay? Yeah, there was this particular, cultural event thereabout, You don't have to cross, right? Okay, you're talking about movement. So what happens when, we're talking about restriction of movement? Why do we barricade so that people will not pass, right?
Because the culture benefits everybody. It doesn't, there's no segregation. This one says women shouldn't come outside.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So we're trying to break it down to an extent to say that, look, it's all about what people agree. Now these people have agreed that this is what is guiding them, right? This is what is protecting them. That this is what is serving them. And so that is what they have agreed. If not, we have the national anthem, but each state has come out with its own state anthems, right?
They still sing the national anthem.
Yeah, and they still sing the national anthem. Yeah, that does not mean those communities do not respect the national constitution. Let's take, for instance, now the constitution has given us the right to vote for candidates of our choice during elections, right? So why do people bring in a culture of thuggery, stealing, and all of that? But the constitution states that we should not steal, we should not kill, right? And then people who kill are sent to the court, and most of these persons go scot-free, and those innocent persons are still in prisons, prisons yet, and all of that. So it is all about that. So that is also the failure in the part of the community leaders, right? The traditional leaders, as the case may be. And so let's return back to what happened to Ozoro community in Delta State. Now, this is a culture, they think, it wasn't really related to the aspect of actually raping or women and all of that. So these are just an introductory aspect that some few elements in the society, I felt they could introduce into that culture that was already on ground. Even in our, Yako community, let me use that, okay? During festival, there are some kind of traditional this thing that the women don't do it. Women are not allowed to participate in that particular one.
Well, there's
So
participating in it, and there's restricting people from moving because of a particular.
it happens. It happened even in Cross River State. We have all of those things. We have it. It's just the fact that that particular saying of raping, that is where the issue is. Not because those things should not be respected and all of that. There are a lot of times, even in our Calabar today, I think, is it the Ekpe or there is one cultural this thing that whenever they pass and then a woman who is pregnant or woman cross over it, I think there's this belief that they say, oh, if women cross over it, they're either not going to get pregnant again or their baby is going to die in the womb. There's something like that, okay, even in our own traditional this thing, right? So whether we like it or not, most of our traditional, most of our tradition does not favor women. That is just the truth. We should just know.
The big question is, should cultural norms and laws be stronger than the rule of law? That is the question.
The rule of law. Okay, so let's get to hear from our listeners.
I'll take it again. 009444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. Should cultural laws, practices be stronger than the rule of law? Because at the end of the day, there shouldn't be anything that is above the rule of law in this country. So should cultural laws, should cultural normatives, should cultural traditions and practices be stronger than the rule of law? Let us know this morning. 0809444058. I'll take that again. 0809444058. Okay, we have a caller this morning. Let's take this call. Hello.
Yes, my brother.
Good morning, Mr. Casey.
Yeah, good morning. Let me contribute small this morning.
Okay, talk to us.
Yes, I've said it and I've said it over and over again. Yesterday, I met you with this topic of discussion, and I said that there's no law or tradition or culture that would be more stronger than the law of our country. The institution, which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria Constitution, should be greater than every other culture or tradition. You must surely subject under the law the law of the land. Okay, there's no any other way, any other country, any other place in the land that their tradition is stronger than their law, their practices in their country. It is totally abolished. But let us go a spade. If the culture demand that the women should not partake in one particular tradition, they should stay clear. Are you with me? This gender equality that we are saying women are now putting in place, seeing how they can have equal rights with men, is not going to work, because the Almighty God who created us know why He created man first before the women. Are you with me? And then out of the rib of man, that is when the woman comes.
Oh my goodness.
But now they are trying to make equality with a man. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact that they are now wearing trousers does not make them
Mr. Casey.
Okay, I think we lost that call. Thank you so much, Mr. Casey, for calling. I think
yeah, he was trying to make up a point there. Yeah.
Wrongly. Now, this is not a fight about equality.
Equality, yeah.
Or anything.
So
like
we're
that.
not talking about
That's
equality.
Not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the fact that a particular tradition is stripping an individual, man, woman, child, I don't care. But for the fact that it's stripping you of your basic fundamental human rights, that is where I have a problem.
Of movement, right?
Of movement. That's where imagine saying, okay, because today is a day where we're burying our king, nobody should speak. I have the right to speak as a citizen of a particular country. There are fundamental human rights. If I have the right to speak, why are you telling me not to speak? Because of a traditional practice or a tradition? No, that's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
Traditions, cultural practices, cultural laws should not be stronger than the rule of law. The rule of law supersedes every other law, every other tradition. So when tradition try to compete with the rule of law, when they try to overrule the rule of law, I have a problem with that. That's where my problem is.
Yeah. So, but this can only happen in a country where the rule of law itself it's absolutely practiced. You know, for instance, we're talking about the rule of law has been established that society is governed by a system which is very clear. Very clear. You just need to say everything very clear and very stable. And of course, the policies are very accessible to the public at all times. So we literally do not need to say, oh, rule of law, and you're hidden under something. Let's take, for instance, there are a lot of things that we need to know when it has to do with the rule of law. And then first of all, we're talking about equality before the law. So irrespective of who you are, you're equal. Like it's just like the United States of America, for crying out loud, as we speak today. You know, irrespective of who you are, Delta Airlines have come out to say, enough is enough. We are not going to treat the congressmen more better than any of our customers. So any of our congressmen must stay on the line. So that particular kind of prestige they give to them, it has been stripped off today as we speak. So if you're a congressman and you want to use our airline, you must stand on the queue. Do you understand? So that is what it should be. So what happens to countries like Japan? For crying out loud, whoever you are, you come on the line, you stand, you queue, you stand there until it gets to your time. What happens when you see a lot of persons who come to work very early? What do they need to do? They go and park. That is another moral dissidence on its own. Do you understand? So this is what it should be. But in a country where you have inequality, you know, it becomes a problem. Because you're the governor, we talked about this yesterday. Because you're the governor, yet it is you who have put how do they call it, traffic lights and all of that, but you break it simply because you're the governor. You see a lot of our military officers or whoever, you know, they drive past traffic lights without minding if another person will be involved in that accident. We talked about an accident yesterday around the Metropolis and all of that, where these guys, this is the same problem we're talking about, but yet you are the one who is talking about the law. So that is it. So this is why a lot of traditional institutions are trying to hold grip to what they have. Do you understand? Trying to see as if that is the only way they could be able. If not, if you talk about now, a lot of communities know that when you steal, they have to deal with you. Do you understand? When you steal, these are the laws in that community, guiding that community, right? Because they feel like in a general term, when you steal or kill somebody, the police will come in, yes, you go to court, and somebody will come and defend you that you didn't kill the person, or this didn't happen. So that is where the problem is. Do you understand? We no longer feel like, oh, somebody have committed a crime, that this person must have to pay for it. Yeah, we understand that you must have to prove beyond preponderance of doubt, but irrespective of that, let it be that, okay, this thing has happened and this is true, and let the person face it. A lot of persons, let's say for instance bandits in Nigeria, a lot of them were arrested and today they are rehabilitated into our own security forces allegedly and all of that. And yet most of our security operatives, we just learned that the military have sacked an officer for coming out to say our politicians should also send their children to join the forces. Yes, I have said it, I have maintained several times that if we must get it right in Nigeria, if you want me to come and campaign for you, your children should also be on the campaign train. Yes, so that it will be equal. That is what we're talking about. And we talk about non-arbitration. Government actions must follow established laws, not personal whims. Today we are having opposition leaders being arrested, being whisked away and all of that, simply because the person is not supporting me. And you can have the federal ministry, the minister of FCT coming out to say, oh, don't worry, just go and vote, I will handle the rest. I don't seem to understand that in this country where we're talking about rule of law. So that is where the problem is. So we have so many other points, not to talk about legal access to justice and talking about accountability and all of that. Today the former governor is here parading himself, to contest for elections and all of that. And so we're asking a question: what happened? Have you been held accountable for how much you've spent, how much you've made, whatever it is and all of that? No. It's a big problem.
Well, at
It's
the
a
end of
big
the
problem.
day,
But
you know,
however, in conclusion, I think what happened in the Ozoro community is condemnable totally. So it's unacceptable no matter what culture you want to have, no matter what tradition you want to play, should not at any given point in time result to that state where you begin to harass people. You know, don't forget, this is why in Akwa Ibom State currently they arrest masquerade, because you want to practice one kind of stupid attitude by inflicting pains and harms to other people, and it's not. So they get them arrested. And so everybody was saying that was perfect. That was a good one.
I commend that.
Yeah, everyone recommend that and all of that. So the government must, as a matter of fact, stand on. And so those persons that have been arrested will not get to hear their own part of the story, what actually happened. That's the same rule of law we are talking about. If you arrest somebody, does not mean you have totally, done what cannot be done. But let's get to hear from the person what happened. So that's what we're talking about. The rule of law is we are talking about. So I think that's what is supposed to be.
Well, at the end of the day, I think it's very glaring that it's a big systematic problem. It's a system that is failing
everywhere in Nigeria. You can imagine NEPA coming to tell us this kind of trash. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we just hope that in the coming elections that you listening to us this morning would make informed choices and vote wisely. It's very, very important. Anyway, this is so much can take today on the Morning Boss. Thank you for everyone that called. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking out time to listen to us this morning. We hope that we've kept you informed, educated, and of course entertained. We do this with you every weekdays right here on Unico 103.5 FM. Big shout out to the crew, Collins, Peter Ogame, and Sunday Uba. Thank you so much for staying with us and making this production a good one. Till I come away again, same time, same station. My name remains Vine Henshaw. You can call me Spies of the Airwaves. I'll leave in the hands of CK. This one says, Emiliana, do enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning.